I really think it's recording right now. I think it does. I think it is. I think it's really recording, and I think it means it's time for the 100th episode of Unscripted. And I got shit. Dog.
I didn't even know that till you told me that. 100 episodes for Unscripted already?
Incredible, isn't it?
It's incredible.
It's good.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, everybody.
Happy 100th.
100.
Unscripted.
Unscripted.
And I ain't got shit. Like, I didn't really see anything. I mean, I know tomorrow's the Bash in Berlin, but like, I haven't watched SmackDown tonight. Obviously, it's still going. Well,
I did for the most part.
Oh,
they opened it with,
nice.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was good. It was just a nice build up. They're there already, of course. So.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to see. The crowd.
Yeah, the crowd's super live or whatever. It was a fine show. I mean, nothing super noteworthy. A face off with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, and they just kind of kept building up the tension of like, is Kevin going to turn? Is he going to is he going to take cheap shots tomorrow to try to get the belt or whatever?
We'll
Cody asked him like,
is Cody's knee is now 100%, right?
Oh,
yeah, and Kevin Owens just said something about his knee, and Cody's like, my knee's fine. What are you talking about? And then like later in the promo, he's like, I know your knee's hurt.
I know your knee's hurt, Cody.
And then
attack it.
That was like almost a Hispanic Kevin Owens. It sounds just like Kevin Owens, but like if he was.
But it still worked because he has that like French.
Your Hispanic side, because was doing that impression. So I mean, I think it's going to be a good match. Like,
hey, I'm from Canada.
Fight Owens, fight way.
Canada. Give some Corona.
It should be good. I'll run down the matches real quick because there's only fucking 5 of them because that's what they do.
Oh,
now
I did read something about that, so you go ahead and read that card. But I read something about that actually today.
I matched on a 3-hour card.
Yeah, it's good. They got a lot of commercials and shit they got to fit in. Cody Rhodes will defend the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens. I mean, I look for Cody to defend, but I think it's going to be a good match. I mean, fucking Kevin Owens, like Jesus.
Yeah,
he's gonna get super intense, and then he's gonna make Cody brawl a lot and everything, which will be fun. I don't know if they would do that here, like, and not a big one, but you really think so?
No.
What, the turn or lose the no?
I don't know.
Are they gonna hug it out in the center of the ring? Yes, they will.
LA Knight's probably gonna get challenged by Alex Wright in the.
Alex Wright?
No, are you serious? Damn it!
I'm just throwing everything out there. We'll see what happens.
I did actually believe that for a second. Did you hear my inflection?
Yeah, I did.
Where did you read that, Alex? Because he does a wrestling school. You probably still go.
Mentioned it when he was. Oh, who's Gunther's like sidekick?
Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig.
Yeah, he took on LA Knight in the opening match today, and they mentioned Alex Wright that I think he either trained at the school or Alex Wright might be there. I just caught Michael Cole mentioning. Wade Barrett mentioned him, and then he goes, "Or as in WCW Berlin," like because they're in Germany, so it's a whole thing. So I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That'd be cool if he was there." They're not showing him. They're all fuck Alex Wright. We don't.
No, he's gonna.
Starts dancing. It's got the exact same dance moves.
He's never in WWE.
Yeah,
okay.
Except he's got to be like he's 45 now. Like he's just going to be like.
Looks good. I bet he looks fucking the same.
He has a school out there. He's been training for years.
Yeah,
out there
with his like.
So I guess it does pretty well.
So big swerve. He's got money in the bank, and then he's going to win title in Germany. Alex Wright. Lock it up.
For the women's WWE Tag Team Championship, the Unholy Union will defend the titles against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Thinking maybe now that they're putting it's not on a pre-show and they're putting it on the main card, I think Bianca and Jade might win it back to further make it seem like they're not going to split because they're eventually going to split. It's probably going to be a Mania match, so they have a month before they could breathe everything. So I don't know. I think we'll see a title change. The Terror Twins, which I hate that name. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley will take on the Judgment Day, Dirty Dom, and Liv Morgan in a mixed tag.
That's what they're calling themselves, the Terror Twins.
Fucking Terror Twins is goddamn
it's stupid,
awful.
But
like that's idiotic.
Jesus. They're kind of going back to basic stuff too, so I hate it too, but I'm like whatever, I guess.
Yeah, so we're gonna be together. What? We're gonna be the mean people.
Street trash, eh?
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, street trash. We'll take on the jerks.
Remember, less is more.
Yeah. But I mean, whatever. Like, I guess I'll forget it's their name. When
it's better than Sonya Deville's fucking faction name. I hate that faction name. The Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah, it's way too long.
Like,
it's
what
like a huge
fuck is that? Like, doesn't even make sense.
We're just out of ideas here.
What is Pure? What's Fusion? And I mean, I guess the collective part I get, but
when people go, why do they rehash old groups like the Horsemen and stuff all the time? I'm like, because when they get too out of control with all these faction names, it gets stupid and they got to rein themselves back in. So
Yeah, I
up
don't.
next, Evolution 2.
Yeah,
Evolution
is a mystery.
2024 coming up next.
It is a
The
mystery.
New Age Cowboys.
Then we have I totally forgot about this. CM Punk taking on Drew McIntyre in a strap match.
I'm
That's
looking
gonna be
forward to
good.
that one.
I think this is gonna be good.
That's
Because
gonna be
there's
really good.
stupid
It's gonna be
Seth, and I
bloody.
hope Seth doesn't come running in.
Oh,
But I don't think so. I think Seth's out with injury.
No,
So I think it
he's
should
gone.
be a nice.
Bronson killed him.
I look for this to undisappoint me from their SummerSlam match. And then Gunther will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton.
I think
I
that's gonna
love
be
the
excellent.
pairing. I think it's going to be a good match. I
Great.
think that I really like the pairing of these two.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think this might be the first match where Orton can kind of go all out a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
he's kind of been used sparingly and as the legend role or whatever. So I think that Gunther's going to push him.
Gunther.
And, you know, Gunther's probably going to get a hero's welcome. So
And someone said something interesting on Twitter. It's like Orton did a reverse Gunther because Gunther went from 300 pounds to 250 and Orton went to 250 to legit 300.
300 pounds.
Yeah.
So they just kind of switched. They're both like, which is crazy because they're. I didn't think Randy Orton gained 50 pounds from his previous.
Oh, he must have eaten all that
I guess
weight
he did.
that Batista lost. You know.
I mean,
The Nutella.
when he came back, he was just like enormous. I mean,
Yeah.
He still is.
like bigger than
he
he'd
eats
ever
a ton. Like when he was doing that interview, he just fucking consumes worlds. Like Randy Orton at this point. Like when he eats, it must be like just a sight.
Hey, Bray.
Like,
but he's got to hit the gym hard for that shit.
Oh, yeah,
like, just to not get out of control. He's got to be lifting heavy and often, like in that gym.
8,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Look at AJ Styles got jacked too.
Yeah, that's the thing. All these guys come back. CM Punk too. So whatever, like nutritionists and diet people they've got,
there's trim. CM
there's
Punk
some
looks
recipe.
trim, like
But he looks more buff up his upper
body. He looks a little bit stockier.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So what happened to Sheamus then? How come Sheamus didn't get the same guy?
Well, no, because Sheamus had a legitimate neck injury. Like he couldn't do shit. But he's already lost that belly weight.
Yeah, Joe.
No,
he lost that belly weight already.
Fucking body shamer.
Dude, when Drew McIntyre,
Burger
said,
after
dude,
burger
that shit was so fucking funny. And then Sheamus later that night he retweeted burger after burger. Fucking funny. Oh god. All right, sorry, go ahead. We know what the main event is.
Oh, and it's a special start time tomorrow, right?
10 a.m., right?
Is it 10 a.m. your time?
Yeah. It at 10 a.m. Cuz's time. It's 9 mine, right?
Oh.
Well, we're still on the same time.
No, you're an hour ahead, I thought.
No, well, but you guys are an hour forward right now.
It's got to be.
Remember, we don't celabrate daylight savings time.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah,
it's 9 hours ahead. So it's
the layover. You go back to time.
It's got to be at least 9 because Germany is 9 hours.
Maybe the pre-show starts at 9. I think the pre-show starts at 9 here.
Yeah,
and then you're right. The main show starts at 10.
Okay, I did hear 10.
I like morning pay-per-views. It's nice, I get up. I have my coffee already.
England's 5, so Germany's probably 2 more.
Yeah, so that would be like a 7 o'clock start time there.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna look it up right now.
Maybe.
To my understanding, there'd be no math
in the debates.
Carry the 1 + 7.
2 weeks ago, Jess said, "So Bash in Berlin, where is that going to be?" And then we said, "Berlin."
Yeah.
And Jess goes,
Listen.
So
you guys got to bring up bold stuff.
If they're saying 10 a.m. is the start time, that might actually be the pre-show, because usually they tell you.
What's Tussle going to be?
Right? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just
What did you say
about myself? No, when's Tennessee Tussle? Where's that going to be?
What about Terror in Turkey? What is that?
Where's that?
Terror Twins are definitely going to be there for that.
Beheadings in Baghdad. When does that be? No, I'm just kidding.
That's the December pay-per-view.
Oh.
Everybody knows that.
Oh, I thought that was okay. Never mind.
Yeah, it's the holiday pay-per-view.
Well, ECW December.
No, it's gonna be a good show like always. I mean, like the feuds are hot, especially the Dom and Rhea dynamic and everything. That's gonna be a really fun match. The strap match is gonna be fucking awesome. I'm looking forward to Orton. I mean, the only one I'm not looking forward to is the women's tag, but I have a feeling that's gonna be totally.
I think it's gonna be good. I actually hope Jade.
Yeah.
And
so I like all these matches on the B pay-per-view. Like they all seem like kind of big time matches. Like so. I'm looking forward to it, so it's going to be a really good.
They have the formula. They haven't had a stinker in a long time.
That's what Triple H. I guess they were saying that he wants to keep it in this format. I think for obviously the B pay-per-views, because they want to have more matches on the TV shows, so everyone. So it's not too much crammed into every freaking show, and then that way they can cram more on SmackDown the night before the B pay-per-view for everyone that's make it
did
worth going to
record-
It's
SmackDown.
not gonna, or yeah, that made the trip and is not gonna be on the
Yeah.
record business tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Merch records were broken. The
Yeah,
boys
exactly.
and girls did a great job
What can I
tonight.
say? We're hot right
Berlin.
now. We're hotter than ever. SmackDown. That's what everyone came for.
That's exactly
why
what
we
he
love
does.
it.
He goes,
He always has
and
the
he always has
paper.
some-
He's got the
he'll have to
glasses.
make an old joke.
Little,
Yeah, he brings glasses down.
Guys like me, we have to wear this now.
Yeah.
And all the reporters laugh. They overlap because they're so happy to be there.
little bracelets my daughter's made. And
Like the WWE actually invited them all. They're just laughing super hard at his stupid fucking jokes.
Anyway, Daniel Jones, Turnbuckle podcast. My question is, how do you top this? How do you top yourself?
How do you
every
feel
week?
about breaking so many records? Oh, I couldn't do it without these guys. Every fucking thing.
I do hate that when it's all controlled like that. But then sometimes too, I'm not just like in other interviews where the podcasters or journalists are not like, restrained to the WWE interviews. I hate when they try to like ask that question that they know, like no wrestler's going to answer. Maybe it's something personal or something, but they want to be the ones like, I want to be the one to get that exclusive.
Yeah.
And it kind of
Who was that dolt that asked the Vince McMahon question?
Yeah,
like 2 months ago
like
or whatever?
fucking idiot like that.
You know
you're
it's
either
not
going
to
to be
the fuck
answered.
out of the room, or he's not going to fucking answer.
That's what I'm
Don't
saying.
ask it.
Like I was watching Daniel Bryan. He was on I forgot which podcast. It was a good interview. But it's like, he's not gonna like, don't ask him about Vince. Like he's all, well, I know you probably don't want to talk about it, but what about Vince McMahon? Like it's like, come on, dude. Like you think you're gonna be like, if he didn't tell anyone else, you think you're gonna be the one that gets the exclusive right now?
Yeah,
and I know you're
like
going to. You're
go.
not asking because you care. You just want the fucking.
He's like,
oh, okay,
on
on
the
podcast, I'm gonna level with you.
On the upcoming Vince biopic, do you think it will end with him shitting on someone's chest?
No, it's gonna start with it. I mean, yeah, and then it'll eventually get back to it.
We're gonna Quentin Tarantino. It's gonna come back around. It's gonna start with him.
Just the camera, just the drone
artsy
camera,
movie,
just
like-
circling his turd that's falling out. That's hanging.
Bet
out.
you're wondering how I got here.
We should be clear. Yeah, that's me, all right. Like, I don't know how I got here.
Let's
Like
go
a-
back to 1981.
like a swing
cast
music
young
version
Vince?
of No Chance in Hell playing in the beginning.
Who would be young Vince?
Who plays young Vince?
Yeah.
Want to buy your company? No.
For some
a
reason,
young
he's just
guy
at
like
casino
you.
gambling.
Don't get in this
It kind of starts off like Goodfellas or something.
What if, Dad, instead of we stayed with the territories, we bought more
Yeah,
territories
exactly.
and went nationally,
Like in a
Dad?
casino, and they're going to dramatize it.
I hope not.
It's apparently 6 hours, and it's produced by Bill Simmons,
yeah.
who did
We're
all
totally
the
not
30
moving
for
forward with that
30,
Vince McMahon
the
biopic.
Andre biography. But what was funny is like
Cocksuckers.
WWE's got to be okay with it because
Well,
Raw's coming on. If they had any say, you think they would make like
So
their biggest
yeah,
launch
and
happening.
that's what makes me a little weary of it, because Vince would never do anything that he doesn't sign off on. But I don't know, like, forget all the scandals that happen or whatever. I really don't care about that. I want the courts to play that out and them do whatever
Yeah.
dance they want to do. I don't really give a shit. The product's better without them. Bye, see ya. Thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
for everything.
1 million
fair.
times.
But we've always wanted to know, even if it's like a little glimpse of what Vince was like in his journey. We all, as fans, we only see what airs on television and what we kind of hear in dirt sheets and shit or whatever behind the scenes. Like, people can't. So today, what was going around is, I guess, before SmackDown, before they opened the doors, all of the talent was around the ring, and Triple H was like talking to everybody out there, and people can barely handle that. They're all, I guess kayfabe's dead. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's a goddamn show. Shut up. Like, so I'm just like, it's so people can't even handle that. So like, we all get hooked on, what really happened with Brett and Hogan in '93 and all this weird stuff. To Vince, it was probably a 30-minute conversation, like over a week. And then, like, when he was moving on, Vince was always looking towards, what am I going to do next year? What am I going to do like this? Bruce always says on his podcast, and I believe that a visionary
yeah.
like Vince, you probably will ask him, like, it's the biggest deal to us. Okay, so did Hogan politic his way at WrestleMania 9? What happened? Vince is like, Vince might even just throw it away. Oh, fuck, that WrestleMania 9, it was what, 93?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Like, there was a lot of shit going on, and I was like trying to go with young guys, and Hogan was back, and what do you expect me to do? And blah blah blah. Anyway, we'd probably be disappointed, or we'd be overstimulated, like what Vince just throws away. What did he say on the Pat McAfee show? Like,
the Stone Cold when he was just
would ask
pacing
him
back
stuff.
and forth.
Yeah.
No, son, I was just trying to figure out if I was going to hit you with this bedpan or not.
Like,
How far
McAfee
you
asked
are.
the question, and Vince told this story, and he almost told it like, you probably don't want to hear this. It's boring, but
Yeah.
but it was so fucking riveting because I'm picturing Vince
We'd never heard it.
McMahon,
Yeah.
like, yeah, producing with Stone Cold, and like, what are you thinking over there, pal? Thinking I might hit you with this bedpan. Like, it's just so fucking funny. Like that they're getting makeup on, they're getting ready and shit. Vince has got the fucking, the gown on because that's what he was wearing in the skit. And then just out of nowhere, like, ready for your thoughts, pal. It's just kind of, I don't know, man. Just kind of want to hit you on the head with something real bad. It's like, oh, maybe that piss bucket over there. Like, it's just crazy.
Take a piss
And
in it
Yeah.
we
first.
like Vince thinks this is boring, but we're like, no, man. Like, we
Like,
want, so it could go either way. It could just be
Yeah.
totally like Vince is like, I'm so busy, I don't remember those little things. Or he talks about, you're probably gonna be bored, but one night, it's like, and it's some huge story. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like I never know.
Linda
what
hates it when
is-
I tell this story, but
Yeah,
Well,
it's just
McMahon apparently
it's
sat
a
down
crazy
for
story,
interviews.
like,
Multiple hours, I guess, sat for interviews.
but see, it's going to
because
be
this,
controlled.
This was all.
Even though he
No,
probably
like
has
it's-
no say
it's
in
not,
it.
McMahon has no approval.
Well,
so it's
yeah,
not,
but
so
as far as
it's
what
more
they interviewed him
documentary
for,
than like it's more documentary than like kind of live action.
Correct. It's going to be all
Like,
documentary. Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Well,
he's
like,
not
all the
going to, in
talking
the
that
interview though,
they're gonna
he's not
have
going to
actors
give
and
away
actresses, like,
anything he
shadows.
doesn't want given away, So that's what I mean by like it's still controlled by Vince in that sense that whatever they asked him, he answered it to whatever he wants people to hear or how he wants to hear it. So it's not like really, I don't know. It's probably not going to be anything like
like
nefarious,
a dark side of the ring.
I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, they'll just be going by what the
the
accusations are. If they're going to try to do that,
Yeah.
then it's not going to be anything based out of anything they actually have evidence on or proof, I should say.
And
But-
I mean, as
I
long
want
as
to
it is
just
at
know
6
more about
hours,
like the thought process about breaking away from. I think to me that's the most interesting. Is like he buys the company, and then it's like, yeah, all of the rules. Fuck you. I'm not. I'm not doing any of. I'm just going to buy everybody. Like to me, that thought process and like that vision. That to me is the most interesting of any of this story.
Do you think they have footage of that? Like, do you think they have? Like, I wonder if Vince thought after he bought WWF to already have cameramen following him around, like to document it, because he figured one day
they probably have. They saved everything, so there had to be like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
I want to see those pool meetings where it's like him, Pritchard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They
and like they're out and they have the
sitting around the kitchen table, just going, okay, what are we gonna do for fucking WrestleMania 4? Like,
just, oh my god, and then you slab Hogan, you gotta slab him, and like it's just all on video,
watch,
like
Bruce,
every big moment.
Why slap me into the pool? Oh my!
Well, brother, is Andre gonna play balls? You gonna tell me if I'm gonna go over? No, that's a secret. No, Andre is not gonna tell you. It's just this whole like
you won't know until you get in the ring.
Yeah, like that's a better thing, Joe. Like, I would rather ask him about the broad stuff. I wouldn't ask him about Brett specifically and Hogan.
No.
I'd be like, so, like, you knew a shift was coming. What is it like to have to juggle being like taken to trial by the federal government and knowing that your company has to like start reaching out to younger talent and doing something different? All this is happening at the same time. People are shitting on the rockin' 80s era. You know it. You see business going down. What the fuck are you thinking? Like, he might even go, I don't know, man. I was just trying to not be guilty in a court of law because that's like, if I got taken away, I couldn't do anything. Like, it's like, I want to know, like, how do you, when a shift has to happen or when WCW's beating the shit out of you, like, really, what do you do? What is your thought process? Like, because everyone's like, oh, Vince was just, that he never sold it. I'm like, but what was he thinking? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he might have not sold it to anybody, but behind closed doors, I'm not saying he like yell or anything like that. But I mean, he had to have been like, okay, like I got to do something. Something dramatic has to happen here. Like all that's interesting as shit. Like he was the guy that pushes it.
During the interview process, though, you're not allowed to like refer to or reference anything about getting shat on. Though.
Like just
no, because you said he's everyone's shitting on this, and it's like you're not don't say shitting on.
Oh, can we cut that out?
It's cut that like I don't want people. I don't want the imagery of that.
Shows that one image of him. What was that interview he was doing where he was like crying? He's like,
yeah, that match was the drizzling shit. Wait,
no. I felt like I took a dump on that. No. Don't.
Figure of speech.
Let's start over.
Well, that one was
live, pal.
Oh wait,
old habits die hard. It's like kinda.
Oh,
you care to elaborate? No, got that too.
Yeah.
But All In was last Sunday. I don't know if you got the chance to watch it. Joe watched it with me last night.
I didn't get to watch it
Sunday live. It was good. It was a really good show.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, all their pay-per-views are really good too. I mean, there's some things I don't like. Yeah, there were some things I didn't like, but I mean, that's whatever.
Well, apparently, I know you didn't like Darby and Jungle Boy, but they actually got time cut because they had a hard cutoff for
and I
Wembley
didn't like
that
it.
attendance.
I
sucks.
maybe didn't
Seemed
like
like
it because it was a strong word, but it was violent, and I wanted more. That's why I was like, oh, like it was only 10 minutes long.
Yeah, the glass
So-
came out in like within minute 2. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Maybe
it
the
just-
shitty
it just
Mercedes
ended up-
Moné and Britt Baker match could have gone fucking 5 minutes shorter.
Oh,
like
so
yeah.
maybe
it
that
did end up
would've
being
been
shitty,
fucking
huh?
better. Oh
It
god,
was,
yeah, like
it was
Whose fault was that?
cringeworthy.
Please tell me it was Britt Baker.
it was Britt was,
It was
Britt was
both
way
Britt's
behind.
fault.
Oh, really?
It was
both
Britt's
of- it was
fault.
both
Yeah,
of-
I mean,
thought both of them,
Monet is
like,
Monet is rusty for sure, and they were
She did
botching
not-
and like
She looked like a shadow of her former self. You know, I'm like she's not as sharp in the ring. She doesn't move the same way. It's they had no chemistry at all. I don't know.
She had good matches
I mean-
up until this point. Monet.
that was they kind of progressively got worse. She had an excellent match with Willow, and then that
Yeah.
Steph, what's her name?
Valor,
the one that
was way better.
But even you could see that she was waiting for Monet on a lot of things or whatever. And then I think just Britt Baker was never that good to begin with. No offense. Like her gimmick was over. She's never that great to begin with. And now she's super rusty, recovering from a serious neck injury. So it's
that's
her first match back in 10 months is like on their biggest show of the year against Mercedes Moné. Like it was just a bad pairing. And Joe's right. There was no chemistry there. And you could tell they were waiting for each other. There was a time where Joe and I looked at each other like, what the fuck are they doing? Like they were just fumble fucking around trying to grab each other. And like they're hesitating because they didn't know the other one was going to grab them. It's like, what are we doing? Like, come on, guys. Like you
our biggest show of the year, and you look like a monkey fucking a football out there.
Send them back to NXT, I guess. Fuck. Well, not Britt Baker.
No,
Ring of Honor.
It wasn't as bad. It wasn't. It wasn't an F. I mean, it was. And then when they actually saw the crowd dying, they would get stiff really quick in moments. Like, what was it the body slam from the top turnbuckle? I was like, damn.
Though they followed the Ospreay and MJF match, which was a shitty
there you go.
position. Like
we were talking about that yesterday about the lineup that they got placed in the absolute worst spot to get placed. There was nothing. There was the crowd needed a break. There was nothing, and it was good match after good match after good match. It was this huge build, and then they just got placed in a piss poor spot. Like we were talking about, I think Jericho and Hook should have been in that spot, but because their match was already kind of like meh to begin with. But
Jericho and Hook should have totally been in that spot. But there was other really, really good stuff on there too. The Jericho and Hook match is probably the next least favorite match that I have, like on the card. I just didn't care for it. Like, and but I mean,
and Taz helped, right?
The triple threat tag team ladder match that opened up for the Trios Championship was fun chaos. It was really good. Christian, goddamn it, like he was in it with Kill Switch, and the second they started, the camera's in the ring and you see all the people, and then the camera angle changes and he's fucking running for his life to the back. He just left, and it was fucking great. Like all the announcers were pissed at him or whatever, and of course he comes back later. And Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta won because Christian was going to go up and Killswitch refused to help him. So they teased like a split up, and then Killswitch pretty much walked away. So everyone's like, oh, are they splitting? Are they breaking up? But it led to something else later in the show that kind of tainted like one of the best matches of the night, which is the casino gauntlet match. That was fucking great. And Nigel fucking McGuinness
I saw that.
It was awesome. Like, dude, his pop was so big. Like, and I just felt like he was totally, of course, he was way behind because he's older and he hasn't wrestled in years.
Yeah.
Like,
he was so proud of himself. It was awesome. He was loving it.
But he was smiling the whole fucking time, and like he was hitting some of his spots. Like, it was so fucking fun to see him. And God, who else? Okada was great in that match. Orange Cassidy,
Ricochet.
Ricochet debuted. Yeah, Ricochet debuted. Jack Sabre Jr. was in it. The stuff that him and Kyle O'Reilly were doing, like I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
O'Reilly,
right now.
man,
like,
he's fucked.
What's it? Oh yeah, that O'Reilly. I like that guy a lot. Like he looks terrible.
He's
but
much better now. Like
his right arm, right? Isn't like his right arm kind of looks like
it's taped, but he wrestled fine. Like he wrestled.
Oh, is that what it was? It looked like it was like smaller than his other arm.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
When he was walking down the ramp, I noticed it looked like, I don't know, like he's got some damage going on there.
All Orndorfing it.
Yeah, like,
and Roderick Strong was in it.
He almost died. Yeah. I don't know what he had. Kyle O'Reilly had, but he almost died.
Was it an infection?
Right? Come back. It was something. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And I think he's got diabetes because he was wearing like one of those Libre monitors on his thing when he came back.
That's what that
I think
was.
he takes it. Yeah, it's like a circle thing, or maybe you might wrap it around on the top here.
He's the more he's in the ring, like same thing with Roderick Strong. When they're both healthy, they're some of the funnest people to watch I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like, and just seeing him in there, all that talent in there, like Okada, Sabre Jr., Ricochet looked fantastic. Like, man, he was so fast great. And like, it looked awesome. It was a really good match, except fucking Christian comes in at the end, and then Luchasaurus comes out as Luchasaurus. So he's pretty much saying, "Fuck you, I'm not Kill Switch, I'm Luchasaurus." Comes out there, fucking helps Christian, so they swerve us, and then Christian wins, and he gets a future title match or whatever. Like, it was. I understand what they did, and I appreciate the love they put into it, and I'm sure Christian was smiling from ear to ear when he booked it or he came up with the idea. But I just listen. That was a Vince WWE move to do that, and I was like it took the air out of the room. Like the match was so good, and there was like
Wow.
a 5 or 6 minute period where it's like everybody was passing out because there's so many stars in there, and they're all hitting their spots and doing this amazing stuff, and then fucking Christian wins, and the whole arena was silent. Like when that
Yeah.
happened, like some people were clapping, people were like, "Fuck!" Like really, like you sacrificed this amazing match for a gimmick, like a silly angle from the beginning of the shows. But I appreciate what they did, but it was just to me, it's like it was 50-50. You have a chance, 50-50 chance of it going over
Yeah.
or it doesn't go over. It's just one of those things that didn't.
Yeah.
But the
It
whole
just
match
felt
was really good.
it felt flat. So
And Orange Cassidy's entrance is the second greatest
sorry.
entrance I've ever seen, ever, and only next to Dom and the Paddy Wagon. That was still number one for me.
Yeah,
When he came out, when he came out, I missed it on Sunday, and then when I rewatched it later in the week, I fucking belly laughed because I didn't see like his entrance. So like the way like the big dome shows or whatever, like the plane, the helicopters on the outside showing the top of the arena, and a lot of the arenas have fireworks that shoot off the roof now. So of course, like he comes out and then he did a really cool tribute to Mr. Bean, by the way, which was awesome. That his opening segment where the spotlight was coming down and it had his face, that was the Mr. Bean show. So he did a tribute to that, which was really funny. And so he comes out or whatever, and he gets out of the entrance ramp and he looks and he's like pointing like for his fireworks to go, and one shitty firework goes like just real quick, and he goes, "Come on, man!" And then and I'm laughing already. And then as he walks, it does the fucking huge production shot of the outside of the arena, the top, the roof, or whatever, and one fucking roof firework goes, and that was it. And I fucking laughed.
That's
Like
fucking
that
funny.
was whoever came up with that idea should get a raise.
Yeah.
Like that was so fucking great. And then he's looking up when he comes back. He's like, come on, man!" And he just keeps walking to the ring. It was awesome. Like
It was very
that was a
funny.
really, really good match. Let's see what else. Osprey and MJF, of course, was fantastic. It was really good. It was 25 minutes. It was just a really exhausting match in a good way. Fucking MJF was wearing Luger's tights from the Lex Express. So fucking great.
It was great. And
Yeah,
I don't.
awesome.
I mean, I don't know how they fake that Tiger Driver. Like I know you tuck your head and it's on the back of your shoulders, but holy shit, every Tiger Driver I've seen, looks like it could kill him.
It looks like they're dead afterwards.
Yeah,
I'm like call an ambulance.
It's uncomfortable to watch a Tiger Driver. Like,
yeah, I felt that the women's championship match was fucking second on the card, which I was pissed off about. But
the Tony and
Mariah May and Tony Storm, their match was excellent. Like that was just
really
fucking
good.
excellent. Mariah May bled because like Tony Storm got revenge on her from the heel thing, and then Tony Storm just couldn't hit her with the heel, and then Mariah May ended up winning. The place popped really big for her too. Like it was that was a really, really good match. It was the second match on the card, which I was really upset about. Like I was like, why? Like why? And then you give fucking Mercedes. But I mean, I guess I'd rather them be the second match than the death match after MJF and Osprey. But I mean, like it, I was just like, fuck, man. Like, but that was also another big match and highlight too. And Will Osprey beat MJF to win the international title back. Great moment too. Like the crowd chanting Osprey at the beginning. Oh, the Assassin's Creed, the 5 is coming out. And his entrance was like looped in with like an advertisement for that, but it was cool. Like it was so good. It was really, really great entrance.
And there's a bigger story in that too. Like Will Ospreay says himself, like he didn't know how to do entrances or what his character was. And so he took his inspiration, even when he started from New Japan or whatever, from Assassin's Creed games, because he's always come out with that Assassin's Creed hood.
Yeah.
So he's been doing Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed is what inspired him to actually do all of his entrances to figure out who he is. So the fact that this new game, they hired him, they're doing the ad kind of thing with it. And like, it's like his dream. So it's really
cool. It was a really, really good entrance. Like it was really fun.
Yeah.
And then I was disappointed in the coffin match, Jack Perry and Darby Allin. But Darby Allin came down with thumbtacks reverse glued to his face, which was fucking insane.
That's
and
funny.
then that's why I was disappointed in the match, because I felt like they were going to do a lot more psychology. Like they did it a little bit, which was awesome, where Perry would go to grab him because, like, when you hurt your opponent or you get out of the way and they miss a move, you want to grab them by their head or their hair.
Yeah.
And every time he did it, he's all, oh, shit, oh, like, and it was awesome. Like, and I was like, oh, and I was just starting to get my blood flowing, and Darby Allin was doing crazy shit, and he fucking hog tied him. He tied his arms and his legs up, and then stuffed him in a body bag and drug him down the fucking like ramp and then threw him in and like and he kneed him right in the fucking face like and then closed the door and he wins and like I was like wow like that was fucking crazy. But now that makes sense, Craig, that they had to cut for time, which is bullshit though. Like
it felt that way though. It felt that way watching it. Was like
it felt so rushed and like
it just seemed abrupt. Like why unless they were
the pacing was off.
Yeah, unless they were trying to show Jack Perry as like this huge badass, like to give him some street cred or something like that. But it was like they could have easily gone another 10 minutes and like.
The one good moment though is the Young Bucks came out there and they poured gasoline all inside the coffin and outside, and just as they were letting him on fire, fucking Sting came out and the place lost their shit. Like
with Seek and Destroy.
Yeah, he came out Seek and Destroy and the place went crazy. And he came out and did the double reverse DDT to the Young Bucks. And Jack Perry hit him with the chair and Sting just turned around and looked at him. Jack Perry's all, and I'm out. And he just like bailed or whatever. That was really funny. Like, so it was cool to see Sting. That was a really, really cool moment. And then Brian Danielson, defeated Swerve Strickland to win the AEW title. Excellent match. Really good storyline. Like, of course, it's Daniel Bryan and Swerve is so goddamn talented. It hurts. Like, they were excellent in there. And then that crowd was like WrestleMania 30 crowd. Like they were insane for him, like for Daniel Bryan, everything he did. Like, and when he won, that whole place went crazy. Like, it was awesome. Like, it was a really, really good moment for him. So I'm glad he got to be in there. It was the first time he said his kids, namely his daughter, because she's older, that they've ever seen him wrestle live. And so like it was a whole thing. So it was awesome.
He was bleeding. And then he was bleeding and looking at his family, like he was staring at the corner.
That was a cool. At first, I didn't know if I. But yeah, as Swerve Strickland was beating him down, he was just staring at his daughter, and like as Swerve like kicking him, and then Swerve's like taunting them or whatever, and then Danny Bryan's just staring at her like that, as if to say like I'm not going to quit because I can still see them, I can still breathe. Like so that was kind of cool. I loved like those little moments. Daniel Bryan's always been good though, telling stories and shit like that, man. Like he's so excellent. So I'm glad. It seems like they're kind of hitting the reset button a little bit, like with Daniel Bryan as champion, and I feel like they're starting to departmentalize better. The women's division is so much better than it was a year ago. I can't stress enough. Cousin and I would get on here and just be like, what the fuck are they thinking? Like a year ago, like how are they putting this shit on television? Like some of it was just so bad. And then like once Toni Storm caught fire with the timeless gimmick and all that stuff, and they brought talent in that she could work well with, and Mariah May is excellent. Like she's good on the microphone. She's got a great character. She's really a good heel, and she could wrestle really well. Like so, man. And Mercedes is value. There is value there. They just got to get a fucking right opponent for her. I don't shit on them for bringing Britt back and doing that, because Britt was kind of like the original, like kind of standout women's wrestler, if you want to call it that. Because her DMD gimmick is over. Yeah, first champ. Her DMD chant's over. She was getting loud pops, 3 years ago or whatever it was. And so, I mean, I get it. I get why they did that. So I'm not disappointed in that choice. It's just like I feel that you knew that Monet is kind of still rusty because she was out for a long time. She's only wrestled a handful of times. They don't do house shows. And then Britt Baker's super rusty. So it's like I don't know how you couldn't have planned that better. Even if it's in the death slot, if they had like this planned match, they would have won the crowd back towards the end. There was a couple times where I felt they were trying. They landed a couple big spots, like that big spot where Sasha does like the boss man or the side suplex that Nash used to do, but she does it from the second rope and slams her opponent on the top rope. That got a huge pop out of the crowd. Yeah. And there was one other spot they did too, where Britt reversed something.
That reverse power slam off the top.
Yeah. So they tried, and so maybe I'm just being hard on it. I'm just like, look, it's not fair. I'm just sort of not a fan of Britt Baker. I don't have anything against her. I just don't. Like, I was kind of on that train of everyone going, oh man, she's the best women's wrestler. I was like, she is not. And don't ever say that. And even 3 years ago, she was not. And I don't know. I've just always been soured on her. I'm sure she's a great person, but, and I'm glad she wasn't seriously hurt. And I'm glad, you know what I mean? I'm glad she could get back in there and wrestle. Oh, yeah, right. So like, but it was a really, really good show.
Man.
They had about 25,000 less fans this year than they did last year, which was, don't get me wrong, they still tarped the arena off. It looked great. I had major production problems. Yeah, still 55,000 paid. I think it's 60 in their paper.
For a non-WWE wrestling show.
Exactly, yeah. So it was really good. The production fucking sucked. Like, they made me so mad with some of their camera angles and like shit that they did. There were so many things that like Ospreay and MJF did where the camera needed to be on them and the camera missed it, and like it pissed me off. And a lot of the Toni Storm match was a lot of those moments where like the Butler, like They were at an angle shot, which they shouldn't have been, to show the Butler on the other side of the apron because the title belt was left in a specific place. So Mariah May would go to try to grab it, and then you just would see it disappear, and then you were supposed to see his middle finger rise up from the apron. But instead, the wrong camera person shot it. So they were on the angle of the ring. So you see the Butler's like back and legs hanging out, and you see him going up and feeling for the belt to get in position. And then she crawled over and he pulled it. And then they missed the middle finger, and then they go back and he had to do it again. And I was like, God damn it. Like, I was getting so pissed. I was like, dude, like, I mean, it all happened in like a 3-second span, but you could tell that like if they had the timing better on that, like if they had the other camera angle, then that would have been really funny. Her going to grab the belt and the belt just disappearing and then a middle finger going boop. It would have been fucking hilarious. Like, but they just fucking like fucked it up. Like there was
I wonder
a couple
what that
other
was. I don't think they'd use like a local crew or newer camera people. It's got to be their AEW regular crew. So maybe it's just an off night. I don't know.
And then when they went to Tony Storm's video package, the sky camera zoomed right in on a fucking empty patch of seats in the fucking top of the stadium and stayed there. And then I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, and then it went to the Tony Storm video, and I was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing right now?"
That's
like,
Craig Leathers. I was at WCW, NWA. It was always Craig Leathers.
Director Craig on the credits on the end or whatever. So, well, yeah, it's not surprising. He likes hiring a bunch of fucking old WCW people like Shivani and AR. All them, but yeah, it was a really good show. It just I'm nitpicking all the other stuff, but I mean, like, yeah, like it was still a really good show. I mean, for a fact that it's the secondary promotion, you know, doing shows like that still, I feel like the roster now is a lot more close knit. I feel like there's a little bit better synergy with the roster, and that it's kind of trying to click. We'll see. Obviously, they did not have a big turnout for Dynamite in fucking Chicago. It was like only 3,000 people.
Oh wow!
So that was not good. Yeah, it was not good at all. Like,
especially in Chicago.
So it's. Yeah, right.
I heard today they did 170,000 buys. So that's at $50 a pop. That is $8.5 million in pay-per-view.
And their merchandise sales that night was the second highest in company history.
Oh, we had a second highest in company history. Except it's Tony Khan doing it.
Or no, so wait a minute. Yeah. It was their second highest, but also like their per head was higher. But last year they had like almost 80,000 people. But this year like the per head. And this, I noticed this press conference, Khan was not on screen.
Oh, good. Maybe someone finally told him, "Hey, get the fuck
He was
off."
at the end.
Oh, well, I mean,
of course, I didn't.
He had the last half an hour, but yeah, they copied what WWE did. They do the whole.
What's he rambling on for half an hour about?
Gina, my wife doesn't really know, and she's like, "What does he do?" Like, I don't know who she thought he was Dana White, and then she's listening to him speak, and then she's like, "He talks too much." I was like, "Yeah, he kind of does." It's like, and he talks about himself. I was like, "Yeah, he kind of does."
Yep.
Like, how
even Gina was like, "Why is he talking so much?"
Tony, how was it tonight? It was fine. It was 20,000 less than last year. It was good. We did good. Fuck.
Pretty good.
Kept showing the empty seats. I don't know why they did that.
Actually, he did say
that's a shitty opinion. It's the most bullshit opinion I've ever heard. That's fucking bullshit.
He sounds literally like Vince Russo. He does.
But it was a really, honestly, it was a really good show. There's multiple matches that deserve to go back and get watched on that. So it was really cool. And Orange Cassidy. If there's anything, just Orange Cassidy's entrance is probably the best thing you need to go back and watch because it was fucking fabulous.
I swear to God, I'm staring at Joe and I thought Joe was frozen, but then the fan was still moving. But there was like 40 seconds where Joe did not blink and did not move. And I thought he was frozen.
There's a little video like on TikTok or whatever going around about like it's a business meeting and the guy keeps acting like he's frozen, but one of them that like the first guy does it and the boss falls for it, and then the second guy does it and he's like, I don't think you're frozen. And then the third guy does it and he has a fan just like Joe in the back. He's like, your fan's still moving? And I'm like, yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, good weekend. And we got the Bash or the Berlin show. Like, so I mean, it's wrestling keeps on trucking, man.
And but we cannot leave without talking about Sid. That was a
shit, yeah.
That hurt,
Sid, man.
That was a big one for me. That hurt.
I didn't even know he was sick, and like that sucks. Like that sucks really bad. Yeah. I'm glad we did a legacy on him already. Because like a lot of people don't talk about him, or he'll get talked about in negative light. Like all the fucking shitty Wrestling Observer did was talk about all his fuck ups and everything. They were doing it like affectionately, but like I was like, can you not like? Can we just talk about the cool shit? Like, it was cool to see him beat Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series '96.
Cool
I never thought
as a kid, it's cool. It was cool to sit on camera. Like, He was one
It
of
was
my favorites.
enormous. I mean, it was such a presence.
He's the biggest, like, most proportionate man I've ever seen in my life in person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In '92 at a house show. It was Hogan and Piper against Sid and Flair. And
Oh, wow.
he was so big, Sid was. He made Hogan look so tiny when he stood up next to him. I mean, you just saw his traps from like midway up in the arena. Like he was gigantic. It was
I mean, most people that are that tall, that are 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", or whatever, it's like they're
like
all legs or all it doesn't look proportionate. He looks like a normal human being, just
he's gigantic.
When
he's not like he's not elegante.
Honest, everything perfectly symmetrical, always with him.
Yeah.
Just it was.
He looked so good with the Winged Eagle title. Like it was fucking awesome. Like,
and you know what? I heard?
Looked good with that title.
Yeah, they did.
Dude,
he's the best title.
Even Andre. I'm just kidding. Was that wasn't the Winged? Was the Winged Eagle title Andre?
It was. That was
it was.
They debuted the Winged
the one
Eagle.
That was
a nice. Yeah.
It's over.
I forgot what I was going to say.
When I'm mad.
It was about what were we just talking about? We were talking about
Sid with the Winged Eagle.
Oh, there was a bunch of like stories that I'd never heard about Sid of how he helped everybody out.
Oh yeah,
like
Booker T.
First guy that gave Harlem Heat their break.
He gave Harlem Heat their break. He called them up.
He let someone else stay with him. Like when he was, you always heard he was difficult. You remember the Arn Anderson knife and scissor fight. But all these people are saying he was the sweetest guy that just went home with his family. Like when he was done.
I think we said it in the Legacy too. Like he got wrongfully. Like if you do something outside this business turns on you. And like so will the fans. So he got labeled softball boy because he was like, I love softball. And I want to be playing softball enduring. So it's like they would always mock Sid for that. And, people make jokes in locker rooms. And then right after, like when internet became a thing, they started doing shoot interviews. I was like, oh, Sid wasn't dependable. I was like, that's bullshit. He told you, when softball season is. Just don't fucking have any plans for him. Like during that time. Like let the man go play softball.
Spring League Finals?
Well, if you get hurt, I'm like,
miss this for thing.
His big moments too, like his early stuff in WCW as the Skyscrapers was fun.
Oh, I love that. I love those days.
Even though he was an awkward fit in the Horsemen, just seeing him, people started cheering for him already in WCW because of his size.
Dude.
And he was so impressive.
Dude,
with Hogan.
What did he say to Gene Okerlund?
At WrestleMania 8?
Yeah.
He's all like, Gene starts talking to him. He's like, no, you fat, ball-headed little oaf. Like, it was so fucking great. Like, he was annoyed at Gene Okerlund because he's so tall. He sees Gene's microphone. He's like, no, shut up. Like, he was so annoyed.
You fat, ball-headed little oaf. So
fat,
good.
Ball-headed little oaf.
Hogan, this will be your last match.
Some of his botches were funny too. When he was fucking live and in your house and he's being interviewed by Jim Ross and he's like, you fucking okay, wait, can we do that over again? He's like, no, we're live, pal.
We're live, pal. Go.
Like, it's so great.
We're live, pal.
I think I sent you guys that clip of him when he says something. He's like, if you're not half the man I am.
You ain't half the man I am.
I have half the brain that you do.
Yeah. And then they pause and like Scott Hall and Nash were laughing in the ring. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It was like during WCW's like down.
And even the look on Sid's face, like, fuck, wait, what? Like,
he's off.
Shit. Hey, he caught it.
I remember him saying something during the like the Shockmaster thing when Shockmaster like falls through the wall and then like you can hear Sid in the background and goes like, oh, I fucking fell, I can't believe it, or something like that.
No, Davey goes, did he fall on his arse? I think, and then Sid's all, oh god.
Yeah, Sid's go, oh god.
So good.
Oh shit, fucking Sid. I
mean, a lot of big moments too, like when the Shawn experiment wasn't working. Like I was happy and shocked when he pinned Shawn.
Oh, dude,
at Survivor Series '96.
Dude, that entrance, that entrance.
Is that when the doors open like this, like the doors?
Yeah.
And like for him being Psycho Sid and being the heel, that place was going apeshit for him. Like, and he's like fist bumping everybody before.
Who's the man?
He
was pretty much that Stone Cold before Stone Cold. Honestly, in WWE.
Very true.
He was a cool heel.
Yeah, he was so confident. Like when he walked out, he was like, "I'm just gonna."
The music, everything, man.
He was the moment that the kind of the world turned on babyface Hogan around WrestleMania 8 and the Royal Rumble, and when he was supposed to be booed at the Royal Rumble, and they did not boo him. They cheered the shit out of him.
ironically in New York where he won the title, not in the same arena, but yeah, that happened in New York.
And you know what? He said, "Who's the man?" That you fucking say it back, because that truly was.
And I think if we really think back, like Craig talking about what people are talking about him now and all the great shit we hear about him, it kind of is so toxic sometimes, that wrestling locker room. Like not just the fans, the locker room itself. Like
they could
how
be.
long was he like? How many opportunities was he not given? Just
Yes.
because people were like, I don't know about Sid. What don't you know about? You like, and that's it. Yeah.
And you know, like,
Yeah. Like, and not giving him opportunities. He was gigantic. Like, you know, and even Vince, like, I think just he had a problem, I think, because like Hogan was a dickhead. And then I guess Warrior was a dickhead. And then that's when Sid's like, I just don't want to renew my contract. Like, I just want to go. And that sucks because imagine if they were on the same page and Sid was like the number one heel and they put the title on him, or heaven forbid, they have him beat Hogan, like even by cheating at WrestleMania 8, which would never happen. But you know, like the momentum Sid could have had, it would have changed everything. Brother. And then during the down period, it was like Sid. Vince went to Sid, and if Sid worked, and that was that triangle with him, Shawn, and Brett. You know, where he beat Brett out of nowhere for the title, and people popped and shit. Like, yeah, it was really awesome. Go ahead, Craig. Sorry.
I don't know. I think I was just saying, no, he just didn't care about politicking himself. We always talk about this. The guys who like can be left behind if you don't care. If you don't control your own narrative, like, and he's one of those guys, the Sting, the Sid Justice, probably Bryan Danielson, all these people that maybe Shane Douglas, it's like they thought it was enough to just show what you're going to do in the ring. It's not. You need the backstage too.
Well, like, and a lot of times so often it was like if people were so worried about losing their spot that they're like, you know, work-life balance or whatever. I mean, people are on the road 300 days out of the year. They're not away from their family. So you had guys like Sid, who was like, no, like this is important to me. It's my job, but it's my job. Like I also have other things I do. Or people that leave for family stuff, and they're like, really, like, you know, when Steamboat won the world title, he's like, or the IC title, and he's like, well, my kid's being born, I got to go like do that. And they're like, well, you're gonna lose your spot. And he's like, well, then I lose my spot, I guess.
Right.
But, you know,
it's my child. Yeah.
I'm like, I have other stuff going on that's important to me. So,
brother, that's how you're not breathing my air, brother.
Yeah, well, there's so many things during the WCW, the 99 end of 99, when it was starting to really go down the toilet. One of the bright spots was Sid and Goldberg feud. It was good. And like when Sid re-debuted in the company in 99, he had
Goldberg!
He had
on the car.
Oh yeah,
on the car. It was
Goldberg! Goldberg! His Arkansas accent.
He's just jumping out of a flattened car.
That was that feud, and like, but it was really good. And like, he had Charles Robinson follow him around, and he mocked Goldberg's streak. Like, so when he re-debuted, he had Charles Robinson, the actual referee, follow him around with an index card and a permanent marker. And so he would go around. He would interrupt cruiserweight matches and powerbomb the shit out of everybody, and then make Charles Robinson pin everybody. And then Charles Robinson would cross out the old number and put the new streak. And he would do it like all throughout the show. And it was awesome. It was funny as shit. And then when he faced Goldberg, I remember Halloween Havoc 99. They had Sid bled like a pig. I mean, he was fucking bleeding everywhere. And the crowd started like chanting Sid like in the middle of the match because he wouldn't quit. And like Goldberg was beating the shit out of him. And then Sid just kept looking at him and like trying to get up. And then we were there live, and people were like, come on, Sid, and who booed him when he came out. And then people were just fucking cheering Sid. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, that's insane. And that sticks in my head like about Sid a lot. Like, this cool, you know, and then his horrific leg break, like at the beginning.
When did he break his leg? When did the leg break happen?
2001.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, 2001.
And Scott Steiner still doesn't Scott Steiner still belly suplex him after that?
No,
he elbow dropped.
He just dropped
him. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was laughing.
Are you okay?
Yeah, he walked over and he's like, everything cool here? And he just dropped the fucking elbow on him. And Sid's like in shock. He's like,
I know.
His leg, like the only thing keeping his leg attached to his body is his skin and his boot. You know,
the leather boot, which doesn't really move.
But he's still, after Scott Steiner does the elbow, he's still like, why did you drop the elbow on me? Did you see my ankle over here? So you sure got high fistful for pain, Sid? I'd be screaming right now.
I know your leg is broken.
That's a holler, you hear me? Leg. You didn't holler.
But yeah, man, it did hurt, Craig. It's weird. It's like, especially when some of the big names from our childhood go. Like, I remember the day
for sure. Yeah.
Like, I found out Macho Man died. Like, it was, I had to take a moment. Like, I was at work and I was like, I had to think in the corner. I was like, Macho Man? Like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, yeah. So
I felt like that with Bray Wyatt because how young and how new and fresh he was, and it was the same thing. That was like a shock. Yeah, Macho Man, fucking. that sucked. Especially how he was just.
Well, especially because they died so young. I mean, he was what, 50, 55?
I think it was, yeah, I don't remember how old
he had
Sid
been
was,
like mid-50s, right?
No, I mean Macho. But
yeah,
Macho, he was. Yeah.
Y'all Bray Wyatt. What?
No, Sid was well into his 60s.
Bray Wyatt was 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sid was early 60s. I think. Yeah,
Sid was 62. Yeah, is that what you said? Sounds about
right.
right.
I love
even
it.
That's really young, but
I don't love it when they pass, but with all the bullshit sometimes of the internet and the toxic fucking whatever, it's like when someone dies like that, like it's really cool to see everybody
all come together.
Yeah, cool shit about Sid going, oh, my favorite like thing was this, and
Sid,
even though
I love this short ECW run.
Is shitty sometimes.
Go
like
watch it.
people are
It's
just
such a
talking
short
about
run.
him.
Go
Sid in
watch
the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. No, Sid is not in the Hall of Fame.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
Like, he will be now.
Yeah,
Holy shit! That is. Did he have a bad? Did he have a bad relationship?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
How the fuck is Sid not in? That blows my mind.
I mean, Luger's not in, which
they did bring him back
for
a Legends contract too. So yeah, you would think he would be.
He did. That's right. He was okay with doing the Heath Slater stuff.
Heath Slater, yeah. Yep. When he was on Raw,
that was awesome.
Oh. And when he was part of the Terror Twins tag team, see what I did there? Brought that shit all the way back. See, that's a callback.
There you go, bitches.
Sid and Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm. Terror Twins.
Yeah, but yeah, Sid sucks, man.
He was such.
You're welcome,
Sid.
Yeah,
Sid. We just do a revisited fucking legacy of his anyway. There's a lot of stuff like you just forget. First of all, he's been in there with every big name you could think of. He's won the world title in WWF and WCW, and like it's just he's got a huge career, man.
His ECW run, go. It's a short.
That was fun. His ECW was so fun.
He just came out like a monster, like literally a psychopath. He was just out there to do the judge's doings. He was the executioner. The Dudley Boy one that's one of the best. There is an actual YouTube video channel that has that segment. I don't know if they have it on Peacock or not. Or well, they probably edit it heavily. There's a lot of swearing in that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was fun too. And then when he came back in WCW after he left WWF, and then he did the softball season and came back in '93, and it was Slamboree '93, and Colonel Rob Parker was his manager. But you didn't know. He just kept saying, "I'm gonna have," like he was mad at Van Hammer. He kept trying to recruit Van Hammer, and Van Hammer's like, "No, man, no." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring my surprise at at Slamboree for you." And then I just remember him coming out there with this fucking sweat rag. He's dabbing himself, and he's like, "Oh, now this guy back here, you bruised my feelings, Van Hammer, and let me introduce you to the man who rules the world." And right when he said that, like everyone fucking popped, and Sid walked out as big as ever and like beat the shit out of Van Hammer, like a clothesline and power. And he gets in, he clotheslines him, and then he goes, and everyone just fucking exploded. And he powerbombed the shit out of him and pinned him. Like
awesome.
When he turned heel in WWF, like he used to beat the shit out of prelims before he fought Hogan at WrestleMania 8, and he'd put him on the stretcher. And remember, he'd push the stretcher, he'd wheel the stretcher all the way out, and then push it and throw it into the ring apron. And these poor prelims were like flying off the stretcher and everything. Like, it's crazy, yeah, it's fucking insane.
He's the best.
Yeah,
good stuff.
One of the best big men. Oh,
for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
We're at what did he retire from?
Retired from seeing at the matches.
Yep.
That was a poor effort on my part. Cuz set it up, I blew it. I'm sorry.
Retired.
I appreciate it.
Seeing at the matches.
Rest in power. See you guys. See you next week. Bash in Berlin today.
It is. And this is John Cena.